Good day, everyone. I am Karl Gardon, together with Danielle Francisco, and today we are going to discuss the modern poetry forms. So, for our objectives, at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify and differentiate modern poetry forms, explain the purpose, structure, and features of each poetry form to understand how they convey meaning and emotions. And last, analyze modern poetry forms by examining sample poems and interpreting their styles and techniques. And now, let's have first what is modern poetry. So, modern poetry refers to poetry written from roughly 1890 to 1950, or the modernist poetry, and poetry written after that, often with styles that reflect contemporary life and challenge traditional forms. Key characteristics include a move away from traditional rhyme and meter, often using free verse, and they focus on themes like disillusionment, social change, and the complexities of 20th century and beyond. So modern poetry often uses everyday language and depicts a more realistic worldview, constructing with earlier, more romantic or descriptive styles. Unlike the rigid tradition of the past, modern poetry is defined by its departure from the strict rules and conventional themes of classical verse. It reflects the shifting attitudes and culture of 20th century, a period heavily influenced by significant global events such as World War I and the rapid rise of industrialization. These societal shifts caused poets to turn their gaze towards everyday life, embracing realism that include the ugly and challenging aspect of human existence, rather than solely the idealized or romanticized subjects of previous eras. The primary objective of this report is to identify these forms, understand their structures, and analyze how they convey meaning in a modern context. Now let's have the distinct forms of poetry that are prevalent in or relevant to the modern era. First we have acrostic. The acrostic form, often referred to as name poems. It is characterized by a structure where the first letter of each line spells out a specific name, word, or phrase when read vertically. While simple in concept, advanced version can even hide secondary messages within the final letter of the lines. While the most common type of acrostic is one formed by the initial letter of each line, there are many different types of acrostic with letters in different positions. The word that is spelled out in an acrostic is called the acrostic. The acrostic typically bears a special meaning in relation to the content of the acrostic, such as revealing the name of the poem's subject or the name of its author. Acrostic poems may be written in meter or in free verse, with or without rhyme. One example here is Edgar Allan Poe's work, which is The Elizabeth. It demonstrates how a renowned author utilized this form to weave a specific name into the fabric of the verse. Number two, we have haiku. Originating from the Japanese, which is renga, the haiku is a brief but impactful form consisting of three unrhymed lines. It adheres to a strict syllable structure of 575. The purpose of a haiku is to capture a specific image, mood, or fleeting moment in time. Haiku traditionally focus on nature and the seasons, but modern versions explore a wide range of topics. Traditional haiku follows specific rules like seasonal references and cutting words, while modern haiku allows more flexibility. Writing a haiku involves brainstorming, drafting, and revising to create a vivid, focused moment. One example here is Langston Hughes' work, which is The Suicide's Note. It was presented to show how this concise form can evoke deep, tragic emotion with very few words. Number three, we have sonnet. Well, the sonnet is a traditional form dating back to Italy from sonetto meaning little song. It remains a vital vessel for modern poets. It is a 14-line poem traditionally written in iambic pentameter. The English or Shakespearean variation consists of three quatrains or four-line stanzas, followed by a final rhyming couplet following the rhyme scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Poets frequently play with the form, sometimes abandoning rhyme entirely to focus on theme, imagery, or to reflect contemporary life more authentically. This can result in variation like the inverted sonnet, where the set appears before the octave, or stretch sonnets that go beyond 14 lines. One example here is Claude McKay's work, which is The America. It serves as a prime example of a modern poet using this traditional structure to discuss contemporary issues of identity and oppression. Number 4, we have the villanelle. The villanelle is a highly structured French verse form. It consists of 19 lines, organized into 5 tercets, or the 3-line stanzas, followed by a final quatrain, or 4 lines. Its defining feature is the use of 2 repeating rhymes and 2 refrains. The first line of the poem repeats as the last line of the second and fourth stanzas. The third line of the poem repeats as the last line of the third and fifth stanzas. Both lines appears again at the very end of the final quatrain. One example here is Dylan Thomas' work, which is "Do not go gentle into that good night." It illustrates the obsessive, cyclical nature of its form, using repetition to emphasize the theme of fighting against death. Number 5, we have the Pantum. The Pantum originated as a Malaysian folk poem before being adopted by Western writers. It composed of quatrains or 4-line stanzas where the second and fourth lines of one stanza become the first and third lines of the next. These chain patterns allows for a shifting context where repeated lines take on new meanings. The poem can be of any length, and the final line often repeats the very first line of the poem, creating a full circle. Unlike traditional forms, modern pantoums are often not rhymed and have not set length, allowing for greater flexibility in meaning and structure. The poem traditionally ends with the first line reappearing as the last, though modern variation exists. Example here is Caroline Kaiser's work, which is the Parents' Pantoum. It was used to demonstrate how this repetitive structure can mirror the cycle of generations and family dynamics. Number 6, we have ekphrastic. Unlike the previous forms, defined by syllable or line counts, the ekphrastic poem is defined by its subject matter. It is a poem inspired by a visual artwork such as a painting, sculpture, or photograph. The poet focuses on small details, structures, colors, and expressions to interpret the story behind the art or the emotion it evokes. Modern poets often use techniques like free verse and expand the ekphrastic tradition by incorporating storytelling, personal interpretation, and by drawing inspiration from contemporary arts, music, and film. The focus is on bringing a static image to life through descriptive, evocative language and a deeper exploration of the emotions and ideas the artwork inspires. One example here is poems inspired by Van Gogh or Diane Seuss's work, which is the self-portrait with Sylvia Plath's braid, shows how poetry can dialogue with visual media. Number 7, we have Ghazal. The Ghazal is an ancient form with Arabic roots adapted by medieval Persian poets like Hafez and Rumi. It has since been adapted into many languages, including English,
Hindi, and Turkish. Structurally, it is composed of independent couplets that share a rhyme and refrain. It often deals with themes of longing, divine love, and metaphysical questions. The modern ghazal form retains its traditional structure of rhyming couplets with a repeating refrain, but modern poets often adapt it to English and new themes beyond love and longing, such as social commentary or personal experience. Each couplet or bite should be thematically self-contained, and the first couplet or matla establishes the rhyme and refrain, which is repeated in the second line of all subsequent couplets. The final couplet or makta often includes the poet's name or personal signature. One example here is works by Rumi, such as "The sky has never seen such a moon," exemplify the spiritual and romantic intensity typical of the ghazal.